While Hawaii is known worldwide for its sandy beaches, the coastlines of the Hawaiian Islands are not entirely made up of beaches. In fact, the island of Hawaii, with its over 750 miles of coastline, is made up mostly of sea cliffs. These sea cliffs created a challenge to native Hawaiians who depended on fishing for a major part of their food supply. How native Hawaiians met this challenge of launching and landing their canoes along these rocky coastlines is the focus of our story. William Ellis, an English missionary working in Tahiti, arrived in Hawaii in 1822. Being fluent in Tahitian, it was felt that he could be most helpful in assisting the recently arrived American missionaries in communicating with the Sandwich Islanders. While William Ellis was not the first European to take note of the Hawaiian canoe ladder, he was the first to provide a detailed description of the ladder and the manner in which it was used.
After traveling a mile and a half along the shore, we came to Kahena, a populous village where the people seemed, from the number of their canoes and nets, to be much engaged in fishing. Their contrivance for launching and landing their canoes was curious and singular. In one place, where there were a few low rocks about 30 feet from the shore, they had erected a kind of ladder. 2 long poles reached from these rocks to the top of the cliff. Strong sticks, 8 or 10 feet long, were laid across these at right angles, and about 2 or 3 inches apart. They being fastened to the long poles with the tough fibrous roots of a climbing sort of plant which they find in the woods, forming the steps of this ingenious and useful ladder. The canoes of this place were light and small. A number were just landing as we arrived. The canoes were paddled up one at a time, with the person in each watching for a convenient opportunity, then rowed swiftly to shore when the rolling billow carried the canoe up upon the ladder. It was seized by 2 men who stood there to receive it, and at the same instant that it was grasped, carried it up the ladder to the top of the cliff. It was then placed upon curiously carved stools made of wood. They then returned to the rock to wait the arrival of another canoe. In this way, 5 or 6 were brought while we stood looking at them.
The use of these canoe ladders persisted throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries and were utilized along the Puna, Hamakua, Kona, and Ka'u coasts of the island of Hawaii. There is also a report of canoe ladders being used in the Hana district on the island of Maui. As the native population decreased due to disease and social upheaval, the use of these canoe ladders slowly disappeared. The outbreak of World War II brought a final end to this remarkable practice.